Today we are meeting with Steven Richardson from Get Proven Process. We all know starting a medical practice is very challenging, getting things off the ground and going. So that's why Get Proven Process is here. They really take the burden, the load off of entrepreneurial nurse practitioners out there and other medical professionals looking to start their practice and their journey to having their own medical business. So I'm really excited to learn more about the detail of all that Get Proven Process has to offer. So Steven, I guess to start, could you tell us a little about your business, like how you got started, what exact services you provide, and who you serve with your offering?
Thank you, Annie, for having me on today. Get Proven Process started a couple years ago. I was transitioning as a provider into the business world, and I was having difficulties in figuring out like the prescriptive process of how things work in business. In medicine, you have policies, you have protocols, you have everything that you can predict with a patient, but in business, I was left with just a vision, not knowing how to go from 0 to 1. So throughout the years, I transitioned to different roles of building companies and knew that I had to surround myself with the right people with that business knowledge for me to be able to execute on my visions. Throughout the years, I have sold a couple of companies and I have joined multiple executive teams and helping them execute on their vision. And throughout that time and the people I've met, I have found that there is a proven process, something that's more prescriptive that works to help people get from 0 to 1, and which led me into the business coaching world. Looking on the forums and my peers, I have seen that MPs and RNs and PAs, they all have this vision. They want to make that leap. They want to make that transition, but they often put one foot in and then look outside and go like this, I don't know what to do. So that's where I created Get Proven Process as a business coach to help them make that transition and to make the journey less friction as mine was, to set them up to win and less failures. So that's how I started Get Proven Process. The services that I provide are mainly business coaching. I also provide fractional COO to help companies that are moderate size, from 10 to 150 employees, to help them transition, to help them identify their goals and push them forward. But I would say 80% of my clients are MPs and PAs, of getting them from 0 to 1 and to execute them and helping them navigate whether the corporate world, whether it's a product and research, the marketing, the economics, putting the pro formas together, the budgets, and walking with them, and also giving them context on where things are and relative to their peers in the form of feedback. Just what a typical business coach does. I didn't have a business coach back in the days, and I would have loved to have a business coach. I think every provider has that one, supervising physician that's able to like guide them. And I feel that the business coach essentially is that primary care role within the business world. And it's being the glue so that people in this ecosystem of Get Proven Process are able to make the connections and glue things together and guide them in the right way, just like you would in conventional medicine. Um, I do serve MPs, PAs, and RNs. I also provide services to physicians and DOs, and a smaller percentage are those who are not of a healthcare, but they're in the healthcare business as far as wanting to start a med spa or wanting to start the telemedicine business. I'll help them guide and execute.
That's fabulous. I can't tell. I now we are partnered obviously with you. We feature you on our website, and we love we've heard great outcomes from clients we've sent your way. That's why we love promoting you. But I want to shout it from the rooftop what you do, because we have so many prospective clients come to us every single day with I need help, like with exactly what you're doing. We don't do that. We help with the collaboration piece, but getting, like you said, from 0 to 1, just getting things going. I mean, that is the hardest part, and none of us learn it in, our schooling. It's not really part of the training, but we're supposed to magically know how to do it when we want to. It's a huge, it's climbing Mount Everest. So that's really great. I guess, can you talk more about like the problems that you do solve for your clients, of which I know there are a million of them, but highlight some of like how you work with people and what you're helping them achieve, I guess.
Yeah, no, the problem that the overarching problem is that 80% of businesses fail within 2 years. Entrepreneurs such as MPs and PAs and RMs, also they're in that same bucket. They're ambitious. We can accomplish anything as providers, and we know we can. We just need to give the tools and the training behind it and that guidance that is much needed, which I offer in Get Proven Process. Um, the smaller aspects of to this that I see is that marketing is a big barrier for providers. It's one of the things that's often needed to get their product in the market, which is the number one gap that most providers have. And the second one is just product research and development of where the product sits in the market. How do they understand the market? How do they understand their customers from a completely different perspective? Because the provider is going to have a perspective of being the provider, they're going to have that communication with the patient, but not all the ecosystem of how the provider is going to behave. So I'll help them walk through that to understand more about the product. And throughout those stages, we unearth different strategies that could be used to help them give a better product market fit, and also to be more competitive, and that it's to help them position their product in different unique situations. But overarching, it's the marketing aspect is a big problem that we help them overcome.
I love that because it's funny you should say that. People, because we're helping so many entrepreneurial nurse practitioners out there, they come like, I really want this to happen, but I just have no patients or very few patients coming in my door, or metaphorical like telemedicine, door. And that's what I preach all day long to people is marketing, marketing, market. That's the one thing you're missing is the marketing. It's not just you have a website and poof, people show up. It doesn't really work that way, as we
And
all
it's
know.
not even about the Google AdWords and like Yelp. Like there's a lot of other different strategies, the B2B, other channels of marketing that they might not be listening to that like, you know what, I'm gonna go grassroots and I'm gonna use my peers as my marketing. There's so many different strategies out there that we're often just thinking about one because we just don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Gosh, I want every person that we help to talk to you now. You'd be overwhelmed, but that would help them out a lot. I guess I would love for you to speak a little more about what makes your particular service unique. It sounds very unique to me, but what do you feel are some of the standout things about what you do and why your clients love you so much?
Yeah, I think the uniqueness of it is that you often don't have the right business partner who's invested with you to one, hold them accountable, to help them gain market insight that they were not able to have because I do have the history of business. Three, setting goals and gaining overall traction and in seeing like that their vision is actually working, that they're able to see these metrics that we put in place to go like, hey, this is actually working. And it's not just a feeling of like, hey, I have one or two customers. It's like, no, everything is moving in the right way. And that's what traction happens. That's when the snowball effect starts happening. And that's the uniqueness that I bring to the team. And I hold these one-on-ones and weekly meetings on a level 10 format that we're going to have a very successful meeting, that we're going through agenda, the metrics, we're going to talk about the hard things. I'm going to ask them the questions that no one else asked them to get them thinking. I'm spurring that creativity and having them think differently than they conventionally would. And that's some of the value that I bring to them.
That's fabulous. I love that, bringing that structure, and yeah, we all need it. All of us medical professionals trying to take the leap into, business ownership. It is a leap, and having someone like you in their back pocket and get proven process is definitely a great way to bridge that gap. So thank you for what you're doing. We are going to spread the word loud and far to all of our nurse practitioners we help, because I know they would really benefit from working with you. Is the best way people get a hold of you just to go through your website, which we have linked on our site?
Yeah, they can go through the website. And on the website, there's also a link to Slack. And that Slack is a community of new entrepreneurs that everyone can talk. We can see like what are the problems? How can I help them out? Maybe not without being a business coach, but just identifying some issues on Slack. But yes, they can ultimately go through the website and email.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for your time. Thanks for sharing more, and good luck with helping a lot of people, help a lot of patients out there with their practices. That's very exciting.
Well, thank you as well for having me.
Thanks.